Humanity was warned again and again. The predator world was marked in red across every galactic map. It was a planet where even the strongest alien species refused to land. Its skies were heavy, its forests alive, and its land ruled by creatures built only for hunting and killing. The galaxy had a simple rule about that world: stay away or die. Humans listened. Then they ignored it. The first human ships arrived quietly. No grand fleet, no weapons pointed at the planet, just explorers, scientists, and survival teams. The galaxy laughed. Many believed humans were weak, emotional, and fragile. On a world of predators, they would not last a single cycle. From orbit, the planet looked beautiful. Purple forests spread across deep valleys. Large mountains cut through the clouds. Two pale moons hung in the sky, watching silently. But beauty was a lie. Under the trees moved shadows that hunted anything warm and breathing. Captain Elias Rowan stood inside the main command ship, looking at the planet below. He was calm, but his crew could feel the tension. Every warning ever written about the predator world echoed in their minds. No alien council helped them. No galactic law protected them. If they died here, no one would care. The landing pods fell through the clouds. The moment humans touched the ground, the planet responded. The forest went silent. That silence was worse than noise. Every trained human knew it meant predators were watching. The first attack came fast. Massive creatures burst from the trees, moving faster than machines predicted. They had thick fur, bone-hard claws, and glowing eyes filled with hunger. These were apex predators, the rulers of this world. Alien species had tried to fight them before. None survived. The humans did not panic. They moved. Energy shields activated, not strong enough to kill, but enough to protect. Stun weapons fired, not to destroy, but to push back. The predators struck again and again, testing the humans, searching for weakness. They found none. Instead of retreating, the humans advanced carefully, step by step. They watched how the creatures moved. They noticed patterns. They listened to sounds, studied reactions, learned fear and curiosity inside those glowing eyes. One predator, larger than the rest, charged straight at Captain Rowan. Everyone expected him to fire. He didn't. Rowan stood still. The beast stopped inches from him, claws digging into stone. Its breath was hot, its teeth sharp enough to crush metal. The crew froze. One mistake would mean death. Slowly, Rowan removed his weapon and lowered it to the ground. The predator tilted its head. That moment changed everything. Instead of attacking, the creature stepped back. Not in fear, but in confusion. No prey had ever done that. No enemy had ever shown calm instead of violence. The predators retreated into the forest. The humans survived the first night. Across the galaxy, sensors picked up strange signals from the predator world. The creatures were moving differently, not hunting blindly. Not attacking everything that landed. Something had changed. The alien councils grew nervous. They remembered something from their ancient records. Long ago, another species had ignored warnings too. That species did not survive. Humans were different. The second day brought a new threat. This time, the attack did not come from the forests. It came from the sky. Alien warships entered the atmosphere without warning. Their weapons were charged, their shields glowing. They belonged to an old alliance that claimed the predator world as a sealed zone. To them, humans were breaking galactic law. The warships opened fire. Human settlements burned. Landing zones exploded. Several pods were destroyed before shields could fully activate. The unexpected war had begun. Captain Rowan ordered civilians into shelters. He did not call for retreat. He did not beg the alien fleet to stop. Instead, he sent a single message. We are not here to conquer, we are here to survive. The alien fleet answered with missiles. Human defense systems activated. Drones rose from hidden platforms. Not weapons of mass destruction, but precise tools designed to disable, not erase. Human ships moved like living things, adapting mid-battle. The aliens were shocked. Humans were supposed to be weak, but the humans fought smart. While the sky burned, the ground shifted. The predators returned. Drawn by explosions and noise, the massive creatures charged toward both human and alien forces. To them, everything in the sky was a threat. The alien soldiers panicked. They had never faced the predators directly. Humans had. Instead of firing at the creatures, humans redirected shields, guiding the predators away from civilian shelters. Some humans even stood between predators and alien troops, using sound emitters and light patterns to redirect the beasts. The predators noticed. Again, they saw humans protecting instead of attacking. One by one, the largest predators turned on the alien soldiers. The battlefield became chaos. Alien forces were crushed between predators and human defense lines. Their ships were damaged by creatures that leapt impossibly high, smashing hulls with raw strength. The aliens retreated in terror. They fled the planet, leaving behind burning wreckage and unanswered questions. When the sky cleared, humans stood alive. The predators did not attack them. They watched. From cliffs, from forests, from shadows. Captain Rowan stood among his people, injured but alive. Around him, massive alien beasts rested instead of hunting. One large, white-furred predator sat near the human camp, its eyes calm, almost thoughtful. No one spoke. Everyone understood. The galaxy had been wrong. The predator world did not belong to monsters. It belonged to those who understood it. And humanity had just made its first ally in a world that was supposed to kill them. Far away, alien councils received battle reports filled with fear. Humans had survived. Humans had fought. Humans had done the unthinkable, and the predator world was no longer silent. The galaxy did not believe the reports at first. Alien councils reviewed the battle data again and again. Predator world creatures had attacked trained alien soldiers. Human forces had survived without destroying the planet. That alone was impossible. But what truly scared them was one detail. The predators did not attack humans. On the predator world, the days after the battle were tense but quiet. Human shelters stood damaged but active. Repair drones moved through the camps. Injured humans were treated and fallen equipment was recovered. The predators watched from a distance. They did not hunt near the camps anymore. They did not circle like before. Instead, they observed, learning. Captain Elias Rowan noticed it first. A group of predators followed human patrols from the trees, not close enough to attack, not far enough to disappear. They moved in wide arcs, protecting the humans without being seen. Humans were not used to this, but they adapted. Rowan ordered strict rules. No one was allowed to harm a predator unless directly attacked. No loud weapons. No sudden movements near the forests. Humans began leaving food far from camps, not as bait, but as peace offerings. The predators responded. They took the food but did not charge. They left markings near human paths, warning other beasts away. The largest predators positioned themselves on ridges overlooking the camps, silent guardians against smaller, more aggressive creatures. Something old was forming, a bond neither side understood fully. Deep in orbit, alien scouts returned. They watched from afar, afraid to land again. The predator world had become something new. Humans were changing it. That could not be allowed. The Alien Alliance sent a message to all nearby systems. Humanity was declared a destabilizing force. Any species aiding them would face punishment. The predator world was to be reclaimed, no matter the cost. This time they would not send soldiers. They would send exterminators. On the ground, humans felt the change before they saw it. The predators became restless. Their movements grew sharp and focused. The air itself felt heavy, like before a storm. Then the sky darkened. Massive ships entered orbit, larger than before, shaped for one purpose: destruction. These ships carried weapons designed to erase life, not fight it. Captain Rowan stood at the command table as alarms sounded. Evacuation was impossible. There was nowhere to run. Human leaders across the camps gathered quickly. Some argued for a full defense. Others suggested retreat into the forests. But Rowan understood something the others did not. This war would not be won with weapons. He walked out of the camp, unarmed. The predators watched closely as he stepped into open ground. One by one, other humans followed him. Soldiers, scientists, engineers, they stood together, exposed, facing the forests. From the shadows, the largest predator emerged. The white-furred giant. It approached slowly, its massive body moving with controlled power. Every human held their breath. Rowan did not move. He met the creature's eyes. The predator stopped in front of him. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then Rowan knelt. He placed his hand on the ground, a universal sign of respect used across many species. Not submission, trust. The predator lowered its head. A deep sound echoed from its chest, not a roar, a call. Across the forests, the response came. Hundreds of predators answered. The ground trembled. The sky ships began their descent. They did not wait. Beams of fire rained down, burning forests, melting stone, turning entire regions into ash. Smaller predators died instantly. The world screamed. Humans activated shields, but they were not enough. Then the predators charged, not blindly, together. They moved with coordination no alien had ever recorded. Large predators formed lines, protecting smaller ones. Others leapt impossibly high, striking landing craft midair. Some sacrificed themselves to protect human camps. Humans fought alongside them, not as masters, as partners. Human drones guided predators toward weak points. Sound systems signaled danger zones. Medical teams treated wounded predators without fear. Human pilots flew low, drawing fire away from the forests. The exterminator fleet was not prepared for this. They expected resistance. They did not expect unity. The battle lasted hours. The sky burned red. When the last alien ship fell, crashing into distant mountains, silence returned. The predator world survived, but it was wounded. Smoke rose from the forests. Entire regions were scarred. Many predators lay dead. Humans mourned beside them, not hiding their grief. The white-furred predator stood near the human camp, injured but alive. Its breathing was slow, heavy. Rowan approached carefully. He placed his hand against the creature's fur. The predator did not pull away. From that moment, the bond was sealed. Across the galaxy, panic spread. The predator world had not been reclaimed. It had been claimed by humans. And worse, by something even more dangerous. Humanity had turned the galaxy's greatest death world into a living ally. Alien councils argued fiercely. Some demanded immediate genocide. Others warned that attacking again would unite the predators completely under human guidance. For the first time in galactic history, fear shifted. Not toward the predator world, toward humanity. On the planet, humans began rebuilding. Predators stayed close. They learned human patterns. Humans learned predator signals. Together, they defended borders, healed land, and watched the skies. Captain Rowan knew this peace would not last. The galaxy would not forgive what humans had done. They had broken an ancient balance. They had proven something terrifying. Humans did not conquer worlds. They understood them. And the galaxy was not ready for what would come next. The galaxy reacted with fear. Not the loud kind of fear, but the quiet, dangerous kind. The kind that leads to decisions made behind closed doors and plans written in shadows. Alien councils met in secret. Screens showed images from the predator world. Humans standing beside massive beasts. Alien ships falling from the sky. The impossible bond between prey and predator. Some leaders demanded war. Others demanded something worse. They labeled humanity as a corrupting force. A species that broke natural order. A threat not because of strength alone, but because of influence. The final decision was made. Humanity would be isolated. Trade routes were closed. Communication channels went dark. Human colonies across nearby systems were cut off from supplies. Refuge ships were denied entry into neutral space. The message was clear: leave the predator world or be erased. On the planet, humans felt the change almost immediately. Supply ships never arrived. Long-range signals returned only static. Captain Elias Rowan stood inside the command shelter, listening to reports. Fuel was low. Medical supplies were limited. Ammunition was being saved only for defense. The predator world was becoming a prison. The predators sensed it too. They grew more alert. Patrols expanded. Massive shapes moved across ridgelands day and night. The white-furred giant, now scarred from battle, rarely left the human camps. Humans had given it a name. They called it Kale. No one knew why the name felt right. It simply did. Kale learned fast. It understood human signals, tone, and movement. When danger approached, Kale warned them before sensors did. When storms came, Kale led patrols to shelter. Other predators followed its lead. The forest had chosen a protector. Far beyond the planet, the alien alliance prepared its next move. They would not attack directly again. Instead, they sent something far more dangerous. A signal. An ancient control frequency buried deep in the predator world's history. A signal designed long ago to drive the planet's beasts into uncontrollable rage. It had been used once before to wipe out an entire civilization that tried to settle the world. The Alliance activated it. The signal spread across the planet like poison. The first scream echoed through the forests at night. Then another. Then hundreds. Predators began to thrash and roar. Smaller beasts attacked blindly. Even the largest hunters struggled to resist the madness burning through their minds. Humans woke to chaos. Sirens sounded. Camps went into lockdown. Defensive walls activated as predators slammed into barriers, confused and enraged. Kale howled. The sound cut through the noise, deep and commanding. Other large predators responded, struggling to hold control. Kale moved through the camps, placing its massive body between humans and the raging beasts. Rowan realized the truth. This was not a natural event. This was a weapon. Human engineers worked desperately to trace the signal. It was coming from deep space, hidden behind layers of distortion. Turning it off from the planet was impossible. unless they did something no one had ever tried. Rowan made a decision that shocked everyone. He ordered a small team to prepare a launch, a direct strike into alien-controlled space. They would not destroy the source. They would expose it. The galaxy needed to see what was being done. The launch was risky. Their ship barely had enough fuel, shields were weak, weapons were minimal. But humans had learned something on the Predator world. Survival was not about power. It was about timing. As the ship launched, Kale followed it to the edge of the landing zone. The giant Predator placed a massive claw against the ground, watching the humans leave. Rowan looked back through the viewport. He understood. If they failed, the Predator world would fall. If they succeeded, the galaxy would change forever. On the planet, the signal intensified. Predators collapsed in pain. Some broke free and attacked blindly. Humans risked their lives to pull wounded beasts away from camps. Medical teams worked on creatures that could crush them with one movement. They did not hesitate. That mattered. Kale stood at the center of the chaos, resisting the signal through sheer will. Blood ran from old wounds as it roared again and again, forcing order where madness tried to grow. The smaller predators gathered around it. They trusted Kale, and through Kale, they trusted humans. In deep space, Rowan's ship breached a restricted sector. Alarms flared instantly. Alien patrol ships moved to intercept. Rowan transmitted everything. Live, the signal data, the effects on predators. Footage of humans protecting alien beasts. Proof of the control frequency being used. Across the galaxy, screens lit up. Neutral systems watched in horror as the truth unfolded. This was not defense. This was manipulation. Genocide by control. The Alliance tried to shut it down. Too late. The signal source was revealed, public, undeniable. The Alliance panicked. They shut down the signal to avoid total exposure. On the Predator world, the change was immediate. The madness faded. Predators collapsed from exhaustion. Humans rushed to help. Kale finally fell to one knee, breathing heavily. Rowan's ship barely escaped. Damaged but alive. When it returned, the planet welcomed them with silence and relief. Kale stood again. Slowly it approached Rowan and lowered its massive head until it touched the human's shoulder. The bond deepened. Across the galaxy, the balance shifted. Some systems withdrew from the Alliance. Others began questioning ancient laws. The idea that Predator worlds were untouchable was no longer absolute. Humanity had forced the galaxy to look at itself, and many did not like what they saw, but the danger was not over. The Alliance was wounded, and wounded powers do not surrender. They prepare. On the Predator world, humans and predators stood together under the stars, knowing the next conflict would decide more than one planet. It would decide who controlled the future, and whether understanding could survive fear. The galaxy did not return to normal. After the truth was revealed, silence spread through many systems. Some worlds stopped supporting the Alliance. Others stayed quiet, afraid to choose sides. Trade slowly resumed for human colonies, but trust was broken. Humanity was no longer ignored. They were watched. On the Predator world, rebuilding continued. Humans repaired shelters, restored energy grids, and treated wounded predators. The forests slowly healed. New growth appeared where fire once burned. Kale remained near the central camp. It rarely slept. Its eyes followed the sky. Captain Elias Rowan noticed the change. Kale was alert in a way it had never been before, not reacting to danger but waiting for it. Humans felt it too. Something was coming. Far away, deep in Alliance-controlled space, a final plan was forming. The leaders knew open war would fail. Too many systems now questioned their authority. Another public attack would destroy them completely. So they chose a quieter path. They activated an ancient project, a weapon that did not target worlds. It targeted minds. The plan was simple. Turn humanity's allies against them. If predators became a threat again, the galaxy would demand their destruction. Humans would stand alone. The signal was different this time. Subtle, slow. It did not cause pain or rage. It planted doubt. On the Predator world, the change came quietly. Some predators began keeping distance from human camps. Others stopped responding to human signals. Patrol patterns shifted, less organized, more unpredictable. Kale noticed immediately. It moved through the forests, confronting other large predators. Low growls echoed through the night. Tension spread. Humans tried to understand. Their instruments detected no hostile signal, no energy spike. Whatever was happening was woven deep, hidden inside natural patterns. Rowan realized the truth too late. This was not control, it was influence. The Alliance was whispering fear into the Predator's instincts, a reminder of old truths. Humans were not born of this world. Humans would leave one day. Predators would remain. Division was growing. Then the first incident happened. A small human patrol did not return. Search teams found signs of struggle. Damaged armor, blood, no bodies. Kale arrived at the site and froze. The scent was familiar. Predators had done this. Not out of hunger, out of fear. The camp reacted instantly. Defensive lines went up. Humans armed themselves not to attack but to protect. Fear spread through the settlers. For the first time since landing, humans questioned their choice. That night, Kale approached the central camp alone. It stopped at the edge of the light. Rowan stepped forward. Kale's eyes were troubled, conflicted. It made a low sound one humans had learned to recognize as warning. The predators were splitting. Some followed Kale, others did not. The Alliance's plan was working. Across the planet, clashes began. Predators fought predators. Humans were caught in the middle, trying to stop bloodshed without becoming enemies. Rowan gathered the human leaders. They faced a terrible choice: fight back and confirm the galaxy's fears, or trust Kale and risk everything. Rowan chose trust. He ordered all humans to stand down unless directly attacked. No predator would be hunted, no retaliation. The decision shocked many, but humans obeyed. Days passed in tension. Then the Alliance made its move. A massive broadcast spread across the galaxy showing edited footage, predators attacking humans, burning camps, screams. The message was clear. Humanity has lost control. Some systems believed it, others hesitated, but the Alliance did not need everyone. They only needed permission. A coalition fleet began moving toward the predator world. On the planet, Kale felt it before sensors did. The ground vibrated. The sky darkened. Kale howled, not in anger, in unity. Across the forests, the response came. Predators gathered, not divided, not confused. They came to Kale. The whispering influence broke under something stronger: memory. Kale moved to the highest ridge overlooking the human camps. It stood tall, scarred, powerful, and let out a call that echoed across the planet. Humans watched in awe. This was not command, this was choice. The predators remembered who stood with them during pain, who healed them, who did not run. They remembered humanity. As the coalition fleet entered orbit, they saw something that made them hesitate. Human settlements standing open, no weapons raised, surrounded by predators standing together. Rowan sent a single transmission. "We are not controlling them, we are standing with them." The fleet commanders argued. Some wanted to fire immediately, others hesitated. Then Kale stepped into the open, visible even from orbit. A massive living symbol of the bond the galaxy said was impossible. The predators did not attack. They waited. The Alliance leaders realized too late. Fear could divide instincts, but trust could rebuild them stronger. The fleet paused. The galaxy held its breath. The next decision would end the conflict, or ignite something far worse. On the predator world, humans and predators stood side by side, knowing that if war came now, it would be the final test. Not of strength, but of belief. The pause did not last long. Fear never stays quiet for long. Inside the coalition fleet, arguments turned into commands. Some leaders believed the bond they saw was a lie. Others feared what would happen if humans were allowed to succeed. Too much had already changed. One ship fired. A single energy beam cut through the sky, striking a distant ridge far from the camps. The explosion shook the planet. That was enough. The predators reacted instantly, not in panic, in formation. Massive shapes moved across the land with purpose. Smaller predators pulled back toward the forests. The largest took forward positions, standing between the human settlements and the sky. Humans activated shields but still did not fire. Captain Elias Rowan watched the sky burn and felt the weight of the moment. If humans fired first, the galaxy would never listen again. He ordered all weapons to remain offline, even as the second shot came. This one struck closer. Dust and fire filled the air. Some humans were injured. Still no return fire. The coalition fleet hesitated again. Confusion spread through their command channels. Humans were not responding as expected. Then Kale moved. The white-furred giant stepped forward into open ground, fully visible from orbit. Its massive form was calm, unshaken. Slowly, it lowered itself to the ground and pressed its chest and head against the earth. A gesture older than language. A promise. The predators followed. Across the plains, forests, and ridges, thousands of predators did the same. They lowered themselves, showing no threat, no aggression, submission, not to humans, to peace. The sight broke something inside the fleet. Several ships powered down their weapons, others did not. A hardline commander gave the final order: full planetary strike. The sky filled with fire. This time humans reacted, not with rage, with precision. Human defense systems activated in layers the galaxy had never seen. Shields expanded, overlapping, protecting predator dens and human camps alike. Drones launched not to destroy ships, but to disrupt targeting systems. Predators charged only when necessary, leaping at low-flying craft, tearing engines apart, forcing ships to retreat rather than explode. It was controlled chaos. The Coalition fleet lost coordination. Then something unexpected happened. Messages flooded Alliance channels. Other systems were intervening. Neutral fleets arrived, trade worlds, medical guilds, explorer unions, species that had watched the broadcast and chosen a side. They did not fire on the Predators. They fired on the Coalition ships that continued attacking. The Alliance collapsed in real time. Commanders argued. The countdown could not be stopped. Far beyond the Predator world, the Alliance weapon charged silently. No alarms echoed across the galaxy. No warning was sent. The leaders believed destruction would erase their failure. On the planet below, the ground continued to pulse. Humans watched their instruments spike again and again. Energy readings made no sense. The planet itself was responding, drawing power from deep below its surface. Captain Elias Rowan stood beside Kale. The great Predator struggled to remain upright, its wound glowing faintly with strange light. The call Kale had released still echoed in the air, not as sound, but as pressure, as memory. Humans felt it, Predators felt it. The world was awake. The forests began to glow softly. Lines of light ran through the ground like veins. Mountains hummed with low energy. Even the air felt heavier, charged with purpose. The ancient truth revealed itself. The Predator world was not just home to dangerous life. It was a guardian world. Long ago, before modern alliances, before laws and borders, this planet had been shaped to protect balance. Its predators were not monsters, they were caretakers, testers. Only those who understood life instead of dominating it could survive here. Humanity had passed the test. In orbit, Allied fleets detected the change. Sensors screamed warnings. Energy levels climbed beyond anything recorded. Then the impossible happened. The Predator world raised a shield, not a human shield, not alien technology. A planetary barrier formed from pure energy, bending space around the world. Light curved, stars dimmed behind it. The Alliance weapon fired. A beam meant to collapse a star slammed into the shield. The galaxy held its breath. The shield held. The beam fractured, dispersing into harmless light across space. The Alliance command centers went silent. Panic spread. They tried to fire again. The weapon failed. The energy feedback surged backward through their systems, disabling fleets, stations, and command hubs in seconds. The Alliance did not fall to war. It fell to its own fear. On the Predator world, the light slowly faded. The shield dissolved gently as if the planet had only stretched and then rested again. Kale collapsed. Humans rushed forward. Rowan knelt beside the great Predator, placing both hands on its fur. Kale's breathing was shallow but steady. The bond remained. Hours later, news spread across the galaxy. The Alliance had lost control. Systems declared independence. Councils dissolved. Old laws were abandoned. The Predator world was officially recognized as sovereign, protected not by fleets, but by universal agreement. No one wanted to test it again. Humanity was no longer isolated. They were invited, but humans did not rush to lead. They stayed. They rebuilt. Years passed. Human cities grew carefully alongside forests, never replacing them. Predators roamed freely, choosing when to stay near humans and when to vanish into the wild. Children grew up learning Predator signals as naturally as language. Kale aged. Scars covered its massive body. It no longer led patrols. Instead, it rested near the central settlement, watching. Rowan visited often. They did not need words. One evening under twin moons, Kale did not rise. Humans and Predators gathered quietly. There was no fear, only respect. Kale's body was returned to the forest, placed among ancient trees. The ground glowed softly as the planet accepted one of its greatest guardians. Rowan stood silently. Humanity had not lost an ally, they had gained a legacy. Decades later, the galaxy told stories. Not of the Predator world as a